fest, right? Uncle John, I'm sitting on the couch in my apartment, and I live with my band, and the phone rang. I think I had a flip phone or something back then, right? Uncle John said, I need you main stage Tootsies tonight with your band. Get down there quick. I was like, what? Get down there quick. I didn't even know that it was CMA Music Fest. I had no idea. I parked up there at the Renaissance parking garage. I walked down the hill with my band, and I looked, and the whole street was clear filled with big concert stages and all this stuff. And I'd never really played on Tootsie's main stage, and I got sick before I went in there. I mean, my nerves were just like, I got sick. And I walked in there and I knew that I had to kick ass. I knew I didn't have any choice. You know, I had to. But I was a nervous wreck when I hit the stage. And it taught me. And I'd never seen a celebrity in my life. Never at that point. And while I'm on stage and I'm singing, I look over and these big CMT cameras and stuff start coming through, and I seen the lights and all this, and I look down and Chris Cagle was standing right there, which is the first country artist I ever seen in my life, you know. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Chris Cagle. I'm shaking. And I looked behind him, and it was Bret Michaels from Poison walked in. Oh shit. And then I looked over at my bass player, which is Dirk Weaver. He said, kick off Every Rose Has Its Thorn. The band's already in it. I'm looking here and I got Bret Michaels standing beside me and Chris Cagle looking at me and CMA filming me, you know? And I'm like, holy shit, you know, trying to sing this song that I've been singing since 1989. Oh, Lord. And I looked down at Bret and I'm like, do you want to sing it? And he's like, no, son, you got it. I said, shit, you know? Nervous as hell. And so anyway, we got through the song, and I thought that Bret told me back then, son, you kind of got it. That's what I thought Bret said. I saw Bret 2 years ago backstage at an arena show in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I said, Bret, you remember that time? He said, yes, Scott, I remember that time. I said, you told me that I kind of had it. He said, no, I didn't. He said, I told you you got it. But that moment right there was a turning point for me about being nervous. So then what I started doing is I really got into this thing called a vision board, where you wrote your visions down, like you wrote your goals and stuff, and I hung it in that old cheap ass apartment by my bed. And I looked and I was like, I'm going to the studio on this date. I'm going to play the Ryman Auditorium. And I listed all my goals that I had. And every time that I would park in the Renaissance parking garage, I'd grab my guitar case and I'd walk down, and I know this sounds crazy, but it's a mental game, and Eddie Montgomery taught me that too. With every step, I'd tell myself, you're a bad MFer, you're a bad MFer, there's nobody on the street that can touch you, Scott, there's nobody, and I got myself so psyched up. I tell myself that over and over, nobody can touch you on the street, you got the best band, you got the best stage, you got the best, you're the best of the best. And by the time I hit the doors of the world famous Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, I was ready, I was in the game. And I went there and I'm like, you know, there's people that can out-sing me, let them try to out-entertain me, they can't touch me. And I built myself so much, it's a mental thing. You tell yourself you're a bad mother trucker, guess what? You're a bad mother trucker. That's the way I can answer your question. That's what worked me. That's what helped me get through my nervousness. You know, because I was nervous as hell. And I'll tell you what, every time I walked and I had that guitar case and I walked past the Ryman Auditorium, I told myself, Scott, you're going to play the Ryman. Scott, you're going to play the Ryman. Scott, you're going to play the Ryman. But guess what? 2010, guess where Scott Collier played? The Ryman Auditorium. Woo! I did. I played the Ryman. And I opened the show, and I came out in the middle of the show, and I closed the show. I did 3 songs on the Ryman Auditorium stage, but I told myself every day, going past there, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And it led into, you know, yeah, I wanted to be George Strait. That's what I wanted to be, you know. I wasn't that good of a songwriter. You know, I had opportunities that I took, but the good Lord, and that's the way I feel about it, I can say that, the good Lord directed me into helping guys like you, because I want to see the next star out of here. I do. That's why we come down here. That's why we put so much into Honky Tonk School, is because we want the next hit to come out of here. We want the next superstar. We want the next Tyler Farr. We want the next Chris Jansen. I want that for you. You know what I mean? Yeah.